Hey everyone, this is our channel, The Masters of Dungeons. I am DM Logan, and this is session 3 of Tyranny of Dragons. So let's jump right into it. When last we met, our heroes, following the descent of a dragon crashing next to the stream, were making their way back through the breached hole in the treasury that they finished defending. And as you make your way back in, the two soldiers that were the crossbowmen that were posted there to guard approach you. And, well, really, they approach Tristana. And they say, "Milady, Governor Nighthill awaits you and your companions in the brig. He is conducting the interrogation on the prisoners and would like you to be there post haste."
Tristana nods, and I assume she follows them to the brig.
Okay. So one of them leads you to the brig a little bit deeper into the keep. The other one stands guard at the breach in the treasury, waiting for reinforcements. And so you get you're led to this doorway that kind of leads to stairs that step down and winding down, kind of in a little bit of a daunting Gothic fashion. Torches line the wall. You walk down maybe 3 flights, and it opens into a small small prison setting with less than a dozen cells. You know, some of the floors lined with hay, like rudimentary beds, and a sparse few prisoners, 2 or 3 here and there, ne'er-do-wells. They're just kind of sitting up against the wall. But straight in front of you, towards the rear of this prison, sits 3 chairs, and in them are one, a ragtag-looking mercenary human. Next to him, an elven cultist. You can tell because he has been dehooded. Actually, he's been derobed, stripped down. And next to him, a half-elf who is also donning the cultist garb. And in front of them, Governor Nighthill, smashing his fist into the elf in the middle. "Tell me why it is that you have besieged our town." And this is what you see. The guard nods to you both, all 3 of you, and leaves.
Yeah, as Nighthill's walking out, I'm gonna know and just turn.
Whoa. Nighthill is not walking out.
What? Oh, I thought you said he left.
No,
I was
the
confused.
guard that escorted you in there nodded to you and left.
Okay. In my head, I was wondering. I don't know why Nighthill's leaving.
No, Nighthill is not leaving.
Okay.
Go ahead, though.
All right. So yeah, and in that case, Noah will look behind the guard and say, "All right, thanks for bringing us down here, Jack." And I pat him on the back, and then he'd look back at Nighthill and say, "I assume you haven't really got anything out of them yet."
He kind of turns around and walks over towards you. The prisoners hanging their heads low, tied to their chairs. "Haven't got a thing. out of these bastards. Do you think maybe you could help out?
Noah. Noah, look at Night Hill, and crosses arms, look over him, like, yeah, I think I can. And you turn Tristan or Auburn. Any of y'all want to take point on this? I can do it if you want me to. I just might get a little dagger happy, if that's fine.
Your town, your interrogation.
I'll watch for now.
All right.
I'm sorry, what was that, Auburn?
I'll watch for now.
He's a watcher, eh? She smirks at him.
He raises his eyebrows back to you.
She raises her eyebrows back at you.
He raises something you can't.
Whoa. Anyway,
Moving on.
Yeah.
proceed.
Yeah. Noah shakes his head at the banter, and he walks up, and is there like a stool around or something, like a chair?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Noah would walk up to. He'd actually try and get a gauge on a situation. He'd pull up the chair. He'd do the like where you put it backwards thing, and then he'd like sit down with his arms like that on top of the chair, and he'd just be narrowing his eyes and looking at all three. To see a gauge there. Like the looks on their faces. Who looks like they might be most privy to giving up any information? So I guess it'd be like an insight.
Sure.
Right.
That would help.
Ooh, starting off good. That is a 23.
All right. Very good. The scene in front of you, the mercenary, it kind of just looks like he's just fidgeting with his hands. He's very uncomfortable, sweating profusely. He doesn't look like he would be of much use. The elven cultist directly in front of you in the middle, however, has this smirk plastered on his face, blood running down his nose as his head hangs low.
All right. So Noah would turn the chair to the elven cultist, and he'd lean his head just a little bit closer, and kind of lean the chair over. Mind telling me what's so funny? I don't really see anything funny about the situation.
He's going to ignore you.
Silent treatment. All right. Well, let's see. And then he would immediately pull out a dagger, immediately put it against his throat, and would get really close, kind of like pulling his hair up with the other hand. And he would kind of change in his expression as he did this, or if he's just still smirking and looking at him with the same look.
There is little change of expression, and you would understand that he's a little bit deranged at this point. There's no fear on his face. He seems perfectly content with you pulling his hair, grabbing his head backwards and placing a blade to his throat.
And Noah, I think, but completely expect this reaction. These cultists are just crazy fanatics. that I'm well, they're cultists, and he and he from there. So other than just dicking around with us, destroying our homes and trying to steal our treasure, which didn't work, by the way, we got that back. What's your goal here? What's the treasure for? Yeah, you tell me. What's your name? You got a name? Probably not. Probably forgot it.
Naive you are. We did not succeed in your treasury, but the rest of your town we have already claimed.
And he kind of like tilted his head up, like, yeah, you're right. Oh, you seem to have done I guess a pretty decent job in that regard. But sadly, that's not really leaving me in the best of moods. So I'm sorry. What exactly did he say? They didn't succeed at the treasury, but they did well
At
elsewhere.
completely looting the rest of the town.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, you did. Did well looting, destroying my town. By the way, don't know if I said that. At least I live here, not really my town. But I have people here that I care about, and well, you hurt them. So, mind telling me what exactly all this treasure is for, and cut the bullshit? And he would dig the dagger just a little bit deeper, and I'd imagine I'd be drawing blood.
Okay. Do you want to roll something?
Yeah, I'll roll an intimidate. Right. Do a 14.
Okay. What you do not understand is that we have already won. A horde is being prepared for the Dragon Queen herself. In fact, we already hold the eggs of dragons within a lair not far from here. We are one step ahead.
Are the eggs of dragons like a saying or like a known like object, kind of like a hope diamond type of thing, or is that just like doesn't register among any of us as like meaning anything besides a literal egg of a dragon type of thing?
Right. It wouldn't register as anything otherwise.
Is that like the eyes of the Falmor? Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
no.
You said the eggs of the dragon, or of a dragon, or the dragon?
He says, dragon eggs. I'm gonna amend that.
Okay.
A
All right.
clutch of dragon eggs.
Yeah, and I'm actually, after he says that, Noah, I kind of like briefly like look over his shoulder to see if that meant anything to Kasana or Auburn.
I mean, Tristana's expression is still kind of like intent on them, but it wouldn't like react at all to eggs of dragons. Nothing she recognizes or anything part of her, wheelhouse.
All right.
Can I roll like a history or something and see if that means anything
Sure.
to me? 20.
I mean, very good roll, but
What do you want to know?
yeah, beyond him saying that they have raided this town and leveled it to collect horde, to strengthen a horde for the coming of the Queen of Dragons. And in doing so, they have also garnered the strength enough to capture dragon eggs to breed them under their command. This is just a straight up interpretation of what he's trying to say, because sometimes words are hard.
Gotcha.
Now I'm assuming that dragon eggs are a pretty rare thing, and not
Yes.
like there's not like a dragon born like every like 2 or 3 years. It's like every like hundreds of years type of thing.
Maybe not hundreds, but it's certainly not common.
Okay. You mean every peasant doesn't have a dragon? Okay.
All right. Before I do anything else, Ryan, last session when Auburn used the medallion, did he ever talk about the medallion or that what he had used it for? Basically,
No, all you saw was him pull out the medallion and place it against the dragon.
Okay. I didn't want to metagame.
Yeah.
All right. So no one there kind of tilt his head, smile a little bit, and close his eyes, let out a little breath. All right. So you got your hoard. What's exactly contained in that hoard? Anything other than gold, riches, jewels? Any, I don't know, slaves that your queen would love to subjugate? Or anything?
You think that we stole someone close to you?
Yeah, the smile. The smile would immediately dissipate from his face, and his eyes would narrow. Yeah, I get the feeling you've done that to a lot of people.
Who was it? A girlfriend? Your brother?
All right. And Noah would bring down and hit the guy over the side of the head. Not enough with the force to knock him out, but he just hit him over the side of the head with like the blunt end of his dagger.
All right.
Yeah, he'd do that, and if I could maybe like knock him out of the chair. He's not robed, right?
No, he's in his undergarments.
Yeah. All right. And so
Does he have any like markings or tattoos adorned on his body or anything like that? Like any like
Good question.
Symbols, sigils of power.
Nothing that would register as anything
Out
but
of the
a
ordinary.
tattoo. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. And then on the robed guy, the other cultist, is there any like embroidery on their, dark robes, or is it just straight up just like a black robe? Like, is there like a symbol or something to latch on to type of thing?
Besides the, okay. Not on the outside of the garment, but on the inside of the hood, if you were to take close inspection of them, is a rather small symbol that looks very familiar to you in red.
Familiar in like its shape, or like
it's the entire symbol.
Okay,
It looks similar to one that you're familiar with.
I understand. Well, if you could give me a second, I have something, but I need like 2 or 3 seconds to come up with it. So if you could stall for a little bit, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, I can do that. So yeah, after I knock this guy down, you hear the clatter of the chair. This guy probably hits his head on the ground. No, it again. Grab him by the hair, bring his head up on the ground, lean down, put the dagger in the throat, and you just have a furious look on his face. He's like, "Look, freak, where are you keeping them? I know you have them. You have to have them. Prisoners, somewhere. Where are they? Tell me or I'll cut your throat. And it won't be pretty. I'll make it slow. I've done this before. I know how to make it as painful as humanly possible."
My job here is done. Cut it.
So in Tristana's head, she kind of registers the symbol and kind of like makes that connection. And she kind of walks in the cell and she says, Dracanis non arcum. And that was like a kind of like a call sign she used in a prior scenario. And after saying that, she says in common, "A dragon does not bow." Does this mean anything to you?
And you say this to whom?
To the cultist who's naked, or
Which
partially naked, the one who's getting like his throat like.
Ah. That one's catching me off guard. No.
Okay. Well, never mind.
I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay.
And as Tristana kind of asks her question, Aubrey's going to step up and kind of get between Noah and the prisoner and say, "Let's be civil here." And he kind of starts to pick him up and set him back in his chair, his medallion in his hand. "Where are you keeping the prisoners?" And then I cast Detect Thoughts.
Do you cast Detect Thoughts?
Yeah.
Or do you use the medallion?
Well, I used the medallion to cast it.
So, as you place the medallion on this cultist, nothing registers, nothing changes. You see no visions in your head.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to... Yeah, okay, we're good. Just read that. Thank you. Got it. Did you get that, Ryan?
Yeah.
Two.
We got some behind the scenes action going.
Yes. So sorry, we're getting a little messages going on. Not everybody can know certain things. Okay, that should be there. And I'm sorry that you thought that, but that is what you see, Auburn.
Right.
Apologies.
He still doesn't.
Yeah, right. And in your best to try, it's like it's just not resonating. When you placed it on the dragon, it was immediate. And
Right.
here it's not as if the magic is beating against a wall. It's just as if there's Nothing.
Gotcha. Does he say anything back to me?
No.
All right.
No, he does not. How do I say this? He does not look afeared or disturbed by anything that you three do.
Yeah,
It's
after
like he's in his own
Tristana,
world.
after she asks that question, and I guess she gets like a blank response back from him. She no longer has interest in this interrogation and just kind of walks out of the cell.
Okay.
Is Nighttail out there, like outside the cell?
He's there with you. Yeah.
Inside the cell? Okay.
And Noah, and I want to say this earlier, but Noah actually did not. He initially resisted a little bit when you kind of pulled him back, Auburn, but after that he kind of went still, kind of drooped his head a little bit, just breathing out, not resisting. But as soon as a Tristana goes out, I mean, he turns to Nighthill with kind of this blank expression on his face. You need these guys anymore? Are they important in any other way that you can think of? Gripping his dagger.
It would be very helpful if we could have a name or some kind of lead. The eggs that he mentioned not far by, maybe someone would know where they were being kept, but it would only be guesswork.
Just here's the way I see it. These guys, they're crazed in the head. And one thing that's different from any other person that I've seen that I've interrogated like this before is that they don't fear death. Apparently. At least the cultists. Now, mercenary, I can try asking him, but I doubt they told him anything. They'd be idiots to tell him. Seeing his type, he just got hired on the wrong side. But those two, if you don't need them anymore, I might not want to see this.
Auburn's gonna step away.
Yeah, and Nighthill in similar fashion. I understand. And he doesn't look like he has remorse or anything like this. Like this is his town too.
Mm-hmm. And what did you say, Ryan or Auburn?
Auburn's just gonna step away and head back up the stairs.
Okay. And Noah, and the other road figure has just been there. It hasn't really said anything, right? Just kind of there.
Correct. Yeah.
The second one.
And kind of this stupor.
All right. So Noah would pull the hood back on that one if the hood was still. So it's a half elf, right?
They are all derobed.
All derobed. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Noah go over to the guy that is still on the floor. I doubt anyone picked him up unless Auburn picked him up. If he did, he would have kicked him over again on the ground. Get the dagger.
I believe Auburn did pick him up.
All right. Yeah. Noah would have just kicked him down on the ground again. He'd flip his dagger, get it in a reverse grip. It's like, got anything else to say before you go meet your queen? Thought so. And then he jammed the dagger into his throat and kind of wrench it, and then pull it out. And he'd quickly turn around, sink a dagger into the back of the neck of the other half elf that didn't say anything. Pulls it back out, whirls around to the mercenary.
Yeah, who at this point is squealing.
Yeah. Whirls around to the mercenary, and I imagine at this point some blood has like squirted or like onto like Noah's face. You just see these fierce eyes. He turns the mercenary around, has a dagger in his hand, puts it up close. Like, I know your type. You just got paid. You don't have anything in this. You're not inherently evil. You just want money. I'm not going to kill you, but you're still going to be a prisoner here. And you're going to pay for what you've done. I just won't take it into my own hands. And then he puts the dagger back.
And if gratitude had a face, he would put it on.
Yeah. Yeah. Noah would turn his back on him. Walk over. If not, he'll stay in the room without turning back. Like, do what you want with him. And then he'd walk out to go join the other two.
Yeah. So he's gonna shut the he's gonna whistle and instruct some other militiamen or kind of helpers to take away the other bodies, and he himself locks the prison gate with the mercenary behind it and heads out. And so yeah, when you emerge back into the keep, things have settled down a little bit. The time, it's getting very, very close to midnight, and the dragon that was roaring for hours above the city is kind of just slowly flying back and forth over the city. And a couple of the buildings around town are still on fire. There are kind of scarce few figures running around in the city still. But as far as the things going on in the keep, they're kind of just doing kind of damage assessment and control at this point, and people are starting to get tired. So, okay. Molly will be right back. Is there anything that y'all are interested in?
Yes. So in the first session, we kind of had that altercation with Greyborn. That was his name, right?
Born Gray.
Born Gray. And we kind of like told the barkeep to, hey, could you hold on to this guy?
Mm-hmm.
So Kristrana would, after running into a dead end with a lead that she thought she had, would with much haste go to Born Gray, and we'll start to demand answers.
With much haste.
Well, I mean, like, she's not gonna like leave everybody else.
Oh,
but,
I
like,
get what you're trying to say. Like, that's next on your list.
Yeah.
Back at the Centaur's Hoof.
Yes. What was the barkeep's name?
Victus.
Victus. And wasn't he a Minotaur? Or it was a Centaur. That's what it was.
He's a Minotaur.
Yeah, so I mean, if no one else has anything to do, then we could do that.
Yeah. So what would probably happen? What would y'all be, or what would y'all be doing? Would y'all be like congregated? Because I imagine I'm like a minute or two like lagging behind y'all walking out, like
So
courtyard.
Tristana would we came out on a wagon. So I guess she would get back on the wagon and then kind of try to get back to the tavern because, one, that's where she sleeps. And then two, she's got business there. So she would kind of saunter over to the wagon, saucily. Are you guys doing anything or?
Yeah. I was gonna say that as soon as I emerged, it'd be easy to see. I'm not trying to conceal it. The blood that's on my kind of the speckled blood that's like on my face and on the front, like my leather armor, my shirt. Over that, with just this blank but like fierce look in my eyes, and I would be walking towards maybe Auburn, and maybe like I'd walk like a little bit past him, like going to search for her. You coming?
Ryan.
Rip. No. Also, I would have tried to do this. Like I don't know if Tristana is already going towards the wagon, but I would have tried to do it in earshot of both of y'all if possible.
It makes sense.
I'm back. Sorry.
There you are. Uh-oh.
I had a call for the internship over the summer. So and they made the last one from Houston made $15,000 over the summer. So
dear.
Yeah, I had this meeting with the person for it.
Well, good luck.
Remember the little guys when you were rich and famous.
Yeah.
Rich and famous internship.
I believe Noah has just requested your aid.
Yeah.
Give my
Noah. I don't know if you heard me, Ryan, but Noah would basically just walk out. Maybe walk a little bit past you and Tristana, but only by a step or two, and you just kind of stop, like, I'm going to go search for her. You're gonna help me?
If you're close enough, he'd put his arm on your back, the top of your back, and go, I told you I would, so of course I will.
Yeah, Tristana's first instinct would be to say some type of biting remark, kind of sneering at you, because she's a woman on a mission or whatever. But before she does that, she kind of the moment before she opens her mouth, she looks at the town around her, kind of like a familiar scene, one of a burning temple, and one of which she also remembers her mother was missing. And kind of coming back to the moment, she kind of sighs. It's like, where do you live? Where are we going?
Tell me again, Logan, if you remember the layout of the town. I can just say whatever.
Yeah, so the town, well, the keep sits directly in the middle of the town on a rather large rolling hill, and directly in front of it is kind of like the town center. To the west is where the temple is, and most of the residential the residential kind of section, and then to the east is kind of like the business section, the industrial section.
All right. So what Noah would say? So down the road a good ways. Take a little bit to the left. It's was a pretty nice shack. Not
On the way. Let's go.
yeah, and I'd assume I'd be telling you that as I'm walking. I wouldn't be.
I like to think you were like just there talking, and then she just kind of like walks off and says, "You can tell us on the way. Let's go."
It's all right. Yeah, kind of like as we're on our way over there.
Well, so what you see when as you have been conversing, and up on the parapet, various soldiers and lookouts and crossbowmen stand watch. Guard Captain Red is also atop, directly above the main gates to the keep. And all of a sudden, the shouts on the parapet get rather quiet. And it's like the guards kind of huddle together, and they're not really announcing anything. And then from some corner of the keep, you hear a hysterical voice. "Oh my God! They're coming! What is that out there?" And the townsfolk kind of slowly but surely erupt into this hysteria.
All right. So I'm from this. I think maybe I'd imagine that this happens like maybe as we're about to like maybe like request like have the doors open and us go out.
Yes.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I saw it too.
So yeah. And so Noah like immediately look, and I imagine that he would know a way like even faster way, just like a shortcut like up without really like climbing the stairs, maybe like a hay bale. He can like jump from that onto like a thing, do some acrobatic nonsense to get to the top and like
Nonsense.
or to get to the palisades in like a one fluid motion, basically, if that's okay. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We were laughing at the voice.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah, he'd get up there, try and get a vantage point. I'm up one hand on one of the hilts of his short sword to kind of narrow his eyes in the direction that they're being hysterical.
All right. And the road that leads up the hill to the main gate of the keep isn't really lit or anything. It's kind of just dimly lit by this crescent moon, so it's pretty dark out. But there are torches on the outside of the keep that kind of illuminate to a certain distance. And from the darkness, a creature strides into the dim light of the dying fires around the keep. Although it is shaped roughly like a human, Noah, you see that it is at least 7 feet tall, its skin covered in blue scales, its fingers bear wicked claws, and its face has the muzzle and reptilian eyes of a dragon. The creature stops about 80 yards from the main gate of the keep and scans the walls. A line of cult fanatics fan out behind it. Weapons drawn, they prod 4 prisoners into the dim light. You can make out these prisoners, at least one that looks very, very familiar to you, Noah. One of them is Evelyn, your mother.
His world would freeze for a second as the first thing he noticed was this strange draconic man, and his eyes had begun to narrow in anger, but just then he caught her out of the corner of his eye, and from there his gaze was immediately fixed on her, like her gentle demeanor, her long, beautiful brown hair, a face that, beloved by anyone, he remembers the smile on her face even as she coughed up blood in her bed, and he promised that he would never let anything bad happen to her, that he would always take care of her. And seeing her on the ground, is she beaten?
She does not look completely intact, as in she looks worse for wear.
Mm-hmm. But just seeing her disheveled features, but I'm assuming a look of fear across her face, or even worse, one of dejectedness, Noah would disappear. Or how tall are the palisades?
So let me stop you.
Thank you.
The other figures next to Evelyn are both, two of them are adult females, and one of them is a child. And in that moment where you were stricken, seeing your mother out there, another figure next to you, Guard Captain Red, mutters, "Oh my gods." And also from the far end of the Palisades, Edian, the priest of Shanti, drops to his knees. The half-dragon creature hails the keep. "Defenders of Greenest!" His voice booms out confidently. "This has been a successful night, and I am feeling generous. Do you see these pitiful, useless prisoners whom we have no use for? I will trade them back to you. Send out your best warrior to fight me, and you can have them in exchange." The cultists break formation behind him and form a half circle, starting from the half dragon and fanning out.
And as he says this, and before Noah can say anything, Auburn preemptively kind of grabs the back of Noah's shirt before he can run off or jump or anything.
I was about to ask how one of y'all stops me from jumping over the palisade walls.
So, but as Noah tugs at his hand, Auburn would hit, and his calming voice, he'd say, "That is Cyan Wrath. I saw him in the dragon's eyes. Let me fight him. I have experience in duels."
I don't think you heard me, Auburn. Let's go right now.
It is unwise for you to fight in this state.
I don't care if it's unwise. Let me go and carve that bastard into so many different pieces. Let me go, Oberon.
And so as this is happening, a very, very similar scene is taking place not far from you as Guard Captain Red. Let me at him! I'll be the one that fights that monster! And multiple militiamen pull him back.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry. I saw that as like a, or did Auburn say anything after that, or is he just continuing to hold on to me?
He's going to keep a hold, say, let me be the one. The light of Pelor will keep me safe against Cyanrath, and I'll bring your mother and the others back to you, to this town.
So Tristana would kind of like walk up the stairs and kind of join you guys. And she would kind of look at the situation. And could you describe like how, so like, are the prisoners like at sword point, or like what exactly is like the...
All of the prisoners are, pushed to their knees at the sword point, as you say.
Yeah.
Including the little boy.
And so how many of the cultists are like in that little half ring?
There are about 3 dozen of them that make up. This looks like to be the main driving force, and they're just stopping by for a chat before they leave.
Yeah, and so Tristana would kind of like go over to the two, and she would say, kind of like in a hushed tone, if we play their game his way, he'll win. Look at him. And then the camera pans over and sees his, massive form and, dragon with like the ring or whatever. And anyway, and it pans back to us. If we can somehow plan some distraction and, buy some time, perhaps we could, I don't know, just not play his game. Or at least change the rules.
Auburn would say to you, Pelor will keep me alive. If it is my time, it's my life or 4. I should be the one that does this. Y'all can figure out a plan, but he's going to get impatient soon.
She looks at Noah. We might be able to use your has Noah ever given him her an indication that he's sneaky or stealthy? I don't know
if you. So I'm sure that there have been indications, especially over the past 2 sessions, that you could have seen to where Noah just seemingly disappears from your field of vision.
Okay.
That probably have happened over multiple times, so yes, she definitely.
So Tristana would say, we could probably use your particular skill set. Now, I don't think we can save all 4. But we may be able to save 1. And she kind of looks at your mom and looks back to you. Or the woman she assumes to be your mother. Because there's been no verbal confirmation. But anyway, she kind of looks at him and just waits for him to react or say something. Cover of darkness. There's only 36 of them. You just gotta run quick, strike fast, create a distraction.
And
Can't save them all.
as you're talking within your group, a kind of, in an almost groveling fashion, Eden, the priest that you saved not long ago, approaches you. They have my daughter too. My poor Lenin. I know that it is asking far too much. But I will be able to mend your wounds should you fall. But please, do not put my daughter's life at stake.
Tristana looks back at Noah and looks at him like, we don't have time for this. And then she says, it's your call.
Yeah. And so Noah, after you, like, when, just when you start speaking, like, for the first time, he looks over you quickly, just like his hair's in shambles, lip quivering, eyes slightly watering in his face, just in anger and like dejectedness. And as you speak, he takes it in, and Edian comes over and says what he says, and Noah realizes that for longer than a split second, he had accepted your plan to go in there, maybe save one, let the other three die. If only he could save his mother, that's all that mattered. And as soon as he realizes this shame washes over Noah as he looks out, sees the child, sees the priest's daughter Lenin, and sees that they too are on the ground, shaking, quivering in fear. And he hangs his head and just completely slackens in your grip, Auburn. And without looking up, it's like, you're not gonna let me fight him?
Not like this. Let me, and for his rules, if I fight him, he'll let all four of them free.
Tristana barges in the conversation, and she says, there's literally nothing, it's like almost not streaming, but like, vocally intense, to guarantee their survival, even if you win, which you won't. This way, we can at least save few instead of discarding all of them.
We won't save anyone with your plan. They'll just take over the keep and kill us all. They outnumber
We're inside of a keep.
They can scale the walls. They outnumber us. They have a dragon. No matter how unwilling he is, he's hit the keep before and he'll do it again. They outnumber us. Look at them. He points to the militia. They can't fight. They can't. There's no way they can take all of them.
The few militiamen that you saw earlier that were running around attempting to do their job bandaged are sparse.
And if anybody interferes, he's just going to kill all four of them anyways. You're not. Nobody's fast enough to get all four of them, or even one out alive.
Noah would look up. I'm gonna add Tristana and like look into her eyes, and maybe I see that you're about to, say another comeback or continue the argument or something along those lines, and that's fine. But as he looks at you, you see something in Noah's eyes that you haven't really seen before, and just like in just the short time you've known him. You see a vulnerability there as he looks into your eyes. He says, "We can't damn them all from the beginning. We have to do the thing that has the greatest success of getting them all." And he's struggling to get them all out alive. We have to.
Yeah, Tristana kind of disdainfully says, "Well, I guess she's not my mother. What do I care if they live or die?" And she just walks off.
Noah would slap her.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like, don't you think that I know that I know what I say? Do you think it's easy for me to say this, Tristana? You think it's easy for me to want to say, to not go out there to save only my mother, to take a plan, to know that she would live, and that they throw everything else to the wind, and to see that she would live with almost near certainty? Do you not think this is hard?
Tristana's eyes kind of flare the color of flame for a second, and then it simmers down to back to her normal eye color. And she just kind of radiates warmth from her hand, and she says, "Back off. I need to cool off," and kind of like brushes him off and just kind of still walks away.
And Noah wouldn't resist as like you like a bat or like a bat him and leave, and his face would go down again. He'd say, Auburn, you better get the fuck out there before I change my fucking mind."
I'll bring your mother back. Not only her, but the others too.
Better.
Or smite.
And as you go to descend the palisade, Night Hill, in your peripherals, is over there attempting to also calm Guard Captain Red. Edian has descended the palisade and stands next to the gates with a very somber look on his face. So, Auburn?
I'm gonna ignore Guard Captain Red and walk up to the gate and have them open it.
Okay.
And then while they're opening it,
So, right.
before anything happens, I'm gonna cast heroism on myself.
Okay. And as you approach the gate and kind of, nudge the guards to open it for you, Night Hill's eyes, as he sees this, widen. Edian looks up next to you, musters a smile, hope is what you see. People from inside the keep who are running around scared for their lives see you in almost this faint glow as the doors open slowly in front of you. So, as you exit the keep, yes, he breathes this reptilian snarl. There will be there will be terms to this combat. In a show of good faith, I will let this one free. And he grabs the little boy by the top of the head, his hair, flings him towards the front gate. He kind of hits the ground and rolls and gets up and sprints inside the keep. Now, should anyone interfere, he raises his voice for the keep to hear, these three will die. And we will leave. I hope that is understood. Now, I'm pleased to introduce myself. And he looks at you, Auburn. Langdidrosa Cyanrath, he says, grinning, a toothy grin. Now you are about 30 yards removed from the keep, and he is about 30 yards in front of you.
Does he list any other terms or anything? Or is he waiting for me to reply?
He's waiting for you to reply.
I am Auburn, son of the sun, paladin of Polor, and I accept your terms.
Good. And he's gonna kind of rustle his shoulders, crack his knuckles. A little bit of electric energy waves and pulses throughout his body as he brandishes his spear, his great sword, not on his back, but on his hilt at his side. And he readies himself. And I will say that it's worth note that at this distance, you can see a shimmering on one of his taloned hands.
All right. And as he's readying himself, Auburn would do the same, bringing his mace up from his hilt on his belt in his left hand, and his metal kite shield, symbol of Polor in the middle of it on his right. He assumes his fighting stance, shield up front.
All right. Oh, yeah. So he goes full out dual mode and closes the distance between you two, not at a charge, but at kind of a walking pace, allowing the suspense to sink in. Okay. So I'm going to put him directly in front of you and roll initiative.
$14.
Okay. Your initiative wins. Tell me how you begin.
How far is he from me?
He is now within 5 feet of you. I mean, unless, of course, you wanted to do something before he closed that distance.
Other than me casting heroism on myself earlier.
Right.
Auburn would just shield out front. He'd bring back his mace and kind of from the left, swing at him.
Right.
Uh, 14 to hit.
And you said he swings from his left side.
14
Correct.
and 23 to hit.
14 and 23. So he easily glances. Your first blow easily glances off of him, missing as he moves aside. But the second blow makes its mark. Wherever you would have him. Have it make.
I think I'd be aiming for more of the abdomen region after he glances off his spear
Okay.
that he had. Six, 9 damage.
Okay.
And as he pulls the mace, and for his second attack, he goes and hits him in the ribs for a good blow, and then takes a quick step back, placing a shield between both of them.
All right. So Cyanrath is going to lunge at you with his wicked-looking spear. All right. So his first jab makes purchase, climbing just over your shield, and for 9
Okay.
points of damage.
And heroism gave me 5 temporary hit points, so I take 4.
Right. And as this blow hits you, I would imagine that your guard lowers only momentarily as he reels for another strike for another 9 points of damage.
All right.
Okay.
As he does this, he expertly wields his spear. Auburn's never fought someone with a spear that's been this good with a spear before. He quickly adjusts his defense to compensate for this much taller dragon. This much taller, dragon-like creature wielding a spear. And he brings back his mace to swing again.
Okay.
16 and 18 to hit.
So again, as you go to recover from the 2 blows, one of your first swing dodges right over his shoulder, but the second one, as you follow it up, smashes him. Have at it.
8 damage. And again, he would take the step back and brandish his shield in between both of them, this time in a better position than last.
Right. All right. So, Cyan Wrath, a little agitated that you even got 2 blows in so far, is going to kind of spear for you and also kind of put his shoulder into it at the same time, using a little more force. And I'm going to need you to roll an athletics to counter this.
18.
All right, good. So you hold your ground as he attempts to smash into you using his spear to lead his little charge, but he's thwarted by your shield with the symbol of Pelor on the front of it. So he steps back, raises his spear in front of him, smashes it on his knee, drawing his greatsword and flipping it around, looking wickedly at you. This blue light, electricity from inside of his eyes. It's your turn.
I see it as he's kind of doing this maneuver to show off his strength with this great sword and his skill with it. But Auburn would attempt to step forward and cut that show short as he points at him. 15 and 19.
All right. So he catches you in an attempt to break his show, deflects you this time instead of dodging with his greatsword. But the second one, you smash into him as his sword was busy deflecting your first blow. Have at it.
6 damage.
All right. Cyan Wrath kind of scoffs, seeing his chance to get in, and strikes. The force from his greatsword resonates as it smashes square in the center of your kite shield. But it does not make purchase, flinging him backwards just a few feet. He looks at you, and his maw opens wide, unleashing an energy. And I'm going to need you to make a dexterity save.
Oh, God. 14.
One second. My inability to math. Oh, dear Lord.
I've gotten this far in life with it.
Come on, Logan, you can do this.
I believe
right.
in you.
Pretty sure I heard 30 somewhere.
That's going to be 31 points of lightning damage, and you've passed the save.
Is that 31 with passing?
No. So you're going to take 15.
Oh, thank God.
It's like, what sorcery is this?
Yeah, as you explode, these lights explode in front of you with electricity coursing through your metal armor. And while you did dodge the blunt of it, you still took part of its force. It is your turn.
Auburn would, after taking this blow, kind of adjust himself back up. This energy coursing through him, this electricity. He's going to try and channel this energy into himself and jump at him, saying, "You're going to need more than that to take me down." The Paladin of Pelor. 18 and 20.
All right. Both of your hits are going to make purchase as he reels back from the power that he just unleashed, and his guard is not yet ready.
14 total.
Tell me how you hit him.
I see him as he's going to bring his sword down out of the way as he shoots out this lightning through his mouth, and Auburn takes this opportunity to
Oh, that's not what I said.
what? And he swing at him, hit him in the arm, kind of making it slow for him to come back up and save for the second attack. And before he can move, he swing and put the second attack into his side.
All right. 2 very, very good hits. But as they make purchase, you hear, "No!" And he takes 1, 2 giant steps toward you, both hands over his head in a chopping fashion. All right. It glances once again off of your shield in a kneeling back fashion. But as it touches the ground, he swings it up once more. And then again. These blows you didn't see coming. Oh, dear Lord. I need another D6.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Because the first hit is going to hit you for 15 points of damage on your right side. And as he sees you reel from this, you're going to take another 8 as he attempts to beat you into submission.
How'd you hit me the last time?
His last hit was another slash coming from the bottom up as he learned from your ability to block overhead.
As you do this, Auburn's barely standing up after the first hit, and the second hit, as it comes up, slashing him across the chest, he falls backwards, not moving, unconscious.
I'm assuming that you're going to need to roll a death saving throw.
2.
All right, so that will be a fail. Write it down.
I couldn't.
And as you fall, imagine this cutscene just, and this paladin in plate armor falls and rolls. Cyan Wrath, in his fury, walks towards the lifeless, well, seemingly unconscious body and raises his sword to plunge it into the chest of Auburn, son of the sun. But in that moment, you hear a voice cry out as one of the figures relinquishes themselves from the cultist's grasp and throws their body in front of the paladin. No! Cyan Wrath, seeing this, ceases, lowers his sword. He fought well, Greenest, not addressing the paladin. You may have these prisoners, but know that the cult of the dragon will reign supreme. And he whistles as he turns. They release the prisoners, shoving them forward, and they attempt to march down the path in formation. Edian, seeing this, his daughter, the one jumping in front of Cyanrath, runs out. But instead of greeting his daughter, he bends to Oberyn, thanking him, even though he is unconscious, laying his hands upon him and calling for aid. You are stabilized.
Auburn's breathing was shallow and not well, kind of begins to normalize just a little as he takes a deeper breath.
All right, the gates are now open, and what few medics that are available are in attendance to you, Oberyn. They bring you a stretcher, and the townspeople line up as they bring you into the keep. Guard Captain Red runs out the gates. He does not see you, Oberyn, on the stretcher. He only sees his wife as he runs to hug and to kiss her with their little boy at his side. Evelyn sits there on her knees, shocked, it would seem, in the middle of the road that leads to the keep.
And as she's looking down, she would feel gingerly beneath her tongue, or her chin. As Noah raises her head, like, and if she was restrained before this, he would have cut the restraints. And like, it's okay, you're all right now, you're safe. They can't hurt you anymore. Not anymore. I'm here now, and I'm not gonna leave. Not gonna leave again.
Noah, is that you? She says.
Yes, it's me.
Let me see your face, she says. But as she says this, she's not looking at your face. And you see that her eyes have been badly damaged.
Noah, like, what are you doing? I'm over. And then the realization would wash over him like a tidal wave. And he falls to his knees and embraces her in a hug, probably a little too hard, as hot tears flow down his face, and he begins to quietly sob with his eyes directly behind them, as his eyes narrowing in a fury that I can't describe. I can't do justice. as he looks out over the distance at where Cyan Wrath and the cult had walked away. They're not still inside, are they? They better not still be inside.
There is mostly the group that was in front of you, and it looks like it might have grown a little bit as they walked through the town to this the southeast. But no, it looks as if all of the brigands have left.
And so Noah then would again just bury his chin into the into his mom's shoulder, still embracing her, still. I'm gonna kill him. No, I'm not gonna kill him. I'm gonna murder him.
Tristana?
Yeah.
Do you see any of this?
I like to think that Tristana is off, cooling off, kind of like at the corner of the castle, like legs over the wall, and she's kind of just staring blankly off into the distance.
Okay.
Kind of like she's too proud to admit her lack of judgment or poor judgment.
Right. And
so she's just kind of, yeah. But she's not going to let anyone else know that, obviously.
Right. Well, not to mention that this scene in particular also had an effect on her because of her past.
Yeah. I like to think she's like kind of like away from everybody, but kind of like gently sobbing. But it's, if anyone ever like even like she heard anything, she would like
right
and like, you know.
Right.
But you know, she's off. You know.
Respectable.
Respectable.
Okay.
I have a reputation to maintain, after all.
Nighthill walks behind you, Noah, placing his hand on your shoulder and his other on your mother's. He, and maybe you know this, but the others do not. He knew you and your mother fairly well, as she had helped him on numerous occasions. And so he shared at least a modicum of this sorrow for you and with you. But I'm sorry, I can't. What
I was like, wait, what's going on? And then I was like, oh man,
somebody's happy.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
But anyway, so I kind of see this as the scene darkens on Noah and Governor Nighthill and his mother. So with that, I'm gonna reveal my face again. I'm gonna say what's up to Ryan's friend. and I'm gonna say thank you to my players for a very emotional session. And we will see you all next time, hopefully soon. Bye-bye.
We're all gonna die, just saying. I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
kill him. All of them.